Hello, trading is closed on August 25th, 2020. Haven't had much time to look at the market today, but here goes. First of all, here's our disclaimer. You've all seen this before, I believe. If not on my channel, then on everybody else's. We're almost through with our webinar preparation. Plan to have it in early September. I can't do it the first week because that's a holiday weekend and I think people have other things to do. We look for the pattern with the early high. This is it. We said absent early strength. It's typically a negative day, but if there is early strength, the tables are turned. This is early strength. We capped up at a new all-time high. And this strength should be followed by further strength, even if it doesn't come in a straight line. Only way to not to have higher prices tomorrow is if we gap down smartly, undercut this low. And as I'm recording this, I think that's pretty low odds. Here's what we had early on. We had a buy signal and an optional lower target, and of course prices did trade both lower and higher. We had a buy signal in the afternoon. We rallied. The system doesn't require us to rally as much as we did, but at least it advised against going short. I've had a few people write me and say, well, they've already bought my books, they paid for that, they shouldn't have to pay a lot for the course too. And I don't plan to charge a lot, but they might be right. The purpose of the course, that the target audience for the webinar is people who've read my book and still aren't getting the same calls I'm getting. And if you are getting exactly the same calls I'm getting, you might not need it, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you're not getting the same calls I'm getting, I think it would be of some help. My situation is I just can't spend as much time as I have been spending during the day answering people's questions. Even though I'm willing to, I'm not really able to. Well, tomorrow has the early high. You could still gap down. Today's normally negative pattern had early strength that resolved positively, unless invalidated by gapping down smartly. Undercutting today's low, I think we'll see higher prices. Doesn't necessarily mean we close higher, but wouldn't surprise me. Maybe we've broken through major resistance. I think higher prices lie ahead, even if we don't go there in a straight line. We've been talking about DeMarc's stuff, which has been disappointing, but one of his things is, if you're 2 bars over this line, you've broken through major resistance. So it's just an additional bit of evidence that we're going higher. But as far as tomorrow's pattern is concerned, we look for the early high. Unless we gap and undercut this low, I look for higher prices. Not making any call about whether we close higher, but we've broken through major resistance, and I don't think the rally's ready to stop yet, and that's today's call.